Okay, it looks like we're live. It's Sunday, September 12th, 2021. I'm early as usual, a few minutes early, 5 minutes. Billy is here. He's asleep. Yeah, it's been a nice weekend here weather-wise in the UK. I think tomorrow is going to be nice again. I've seen Alan Zibelman talking a lot about how to prepare, how to do a little bit, be more self-reliant. I think that's going to be very important going forward. Unfortunately, the world has changed, and I don't think we're going to be going back to how it used to be. Maybe that's a good thing, but I don't think what the powers that be want to institute is going to work. I think we have to try to, say no as much as possible, go on strike, so to speak. So let's see who's here. Let's put this over here so I can see better. Alan Zibelman, yeah, we've seen him here. We've got Belly Dance Rabia. I don't know if he's still here. Merritt Kolenda. Who else? Alex Cooper. Catfish Customs says, I love weekend at Billy's. Big Bush Ape Tits. At Alan Zibelman, I'm worried, so trying my best to prepare for difficult times. Sold all my motorcycles, low debt. Yeah, I think things are going to get worse. I think the whole financial, economic, monetary system is unraveling. And I think a lot of the shortages, the supply chain problems, that's just a symptom of the money going bad, of the system imploding, the just-in-time inventory that's imploding. The problem with trucks or HGVs, that's very serious because in the just-in-time inventory, you need that. Also, the trouble with the cost of shipping across oceans, shipping containers, that's gone from like $900 to $10,000, $13. So not great. So we've got Jillian B as well. Hi, Jillian. Joker Alpha, MK Ultra 90K. Hi, Pablo Pina. Nice to see you as usual. Silver Beast. Mark Graham is here. He says, I listen to you every day. Thank you, Mark. SW, I need you to buy a solar panel. Doug Wilder from Southern California. Linda Compton from Spokane. Washington, Peter Brunsgaard. Hi, Peter. Mark Anthony from Johannesburg, not Rome. Alan Chadwick, capitalism has led to military coups. Got a super chat from Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. Prepareforchange.net. I will look at that. I will look at that. So Jan Heraut from the Czech Republic. Connor Monnery. Hi, Connor. Billy, everyone's saying hello to you. I think that we are a long way from Fed failing, says Pad. We'll see. I mean, there was an announcement through the Wall Street Journal saying that they're going to do 15 billion every month in tapering. All that means is that they're going to be buying 15 billion less every month. I don't know when they're going to start, maybe November or December. Yeah, there's a lot of time from now to November or December, and a lot of time from now till the beginning of next year, middle of next year. They could stop this tapering very quickly, just like they stopped in 2019. Dilwyn Roberts from North Wales. Coin Fisher says, I guess Monaco 64, Coin Fisher's first YouTube every day. Jetty Rye. Hi, Jetty Rye from Leeds. over here, New York City, great. Ricky Talk from Manchester, UK. T. Corsi from Seattle. Lily Robin from Denver, Colorado. Not Joe King, Manchester. It's good to see people from the UK. After all, I am in the UK. Steve E., thank you for your super chat. For dog treats, thank you. Yeah, Billy, he's doing well health-wise. His eyes, his dry eyes are fine, but the problem is he's kind of losing his sight. He's not seeing very well, but he's very healthy, has his walk every day, so not a problem. He's over 13 now. William Smith. Hi, William Smith. Cardinal Sin is here. Eli Risordo from New Jersey. Chris Conman. Hi, Chris. No, I didn't shoot par today, Chris. I started out, I didn't play badly. I was 3 over after 9 holes, and then I just didn't play well the back 9. And yeah, I just didn't putt too well, and it wasn't a great day. I almost shot par on Wednesday for 9 holes. I was 1 over par, but that doesn't matter. I think being out and exercising and playing golf, well, it does matter. I always try my best, but I'm not going to let it get me down. You just got to keep going. I'm playing again tomorrow, Chris, tomorrow afternoon, so maybe it will be a better round. Steve Goodwin from Kent. I'm in Kent as well. Cliff High. No, the best place to find Cliff High is on BitChute. He posts all his stuff on BitChute. Simon Bevan, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Submit therefore unto God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's very good advice. I think, that's, it's difficult nowadays to keep from looking at all that diversions and scaremongering in the world. But yeah, I try my best. You just have to try to ignore all the mainstream media, all the TV, which I don't watch, and just, yeah, focus on yourself. And I'm not saying that you need to be selfish on yourself, your family, close community. And I guess I'm lucky to have a community of over 50,000 people here on YouTube. And it's Graham Hobbs is the one who told me years ago that the most important thing is the community. And I've learned a lot from you guys, and hopefully you've learned some from me. And yeah, let me have a sip of my water. Big Bush, thank you for your super chat. The 20 pounds I saved, premium I saved with your code. Love the service from Gold Investments. That's for Billy now. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, Gold Investments, they're good. They have whatever they say they have, and they'll ship it the next day. Well, you usually get there the next day, Gold Investments. Sometimes it might get there in 2 days. They do ship everywhere across the world. So it's not just for UK viewers. And if you do go to Gold Investments, use the promo code Monaco64. They'll give you a slightly better deal. There you go. And there's also Glint. Glint is different. You do hold, you're not holding the gold, they hold it for you, allocated in Switzerland, and you can spend it if you want on your Glint card. The referral there is Mario Glint 79, and all the details are always in the description of all my videos. G-Man from Birmingham in the UK. Rainmaker, what caused the 2018 Christmas correction? The Fed tried to raise interest rates. at the time already they were tapering and they were raising interest rates. They continued to do so in 2019, but by September 2019, the repo market basically froze. So no one on Wall Street wanted to lend to each other. So the Fed had to come in and bail the whole system out. Yeah, but yeah, it started in 2018, I guess you could say. It was kind of saved for a while there. Robert Kim says, congratulations to Denmark lifting all restrictions. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on in Denmark, but yeah, that would be good. But I still think they want, I'm not sure if they want people to show passports and stuff. We were told today by a minister here in the UK, Sajid Javid, that they're not going to impose a passport for this health situation. And I'm not too sure what to make of it. I'm not too convinced. They could change things very quickly. And he did say that he still thinks it could be a good idea and it will still be there if we need it. So yeah, I don't trust these guys anymore. They say one thing and do something else. Carlo Iaboni, did you agree with Brexit? Yeah, it's a tricky one because I came here in 1992 because I had an Italian passport. I have a Brazilian passport as well, but it would have been a lot harder with the Brazilian. And yeah, so there were some things about the EU that were good, free movement, but I think the EU is going to implode and break up. So whatever happens, Brexit or no, not Brexit anyway, I think the whole European Union experiment will implode in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even before. So yeah, I've gone past 9 o'clock. The title of the video, this live stream, is about the fact that the Fed, yeah, they won't be able to. The inflation's already been created, and the reason I say that is because I always try to look at the true definition of inflation, which most of you probably know because you've been listening to me harp on about this, that it's the creation of money and credit out of thin air, leading to a rise in the general price level. And they've gotten away in the last 20, 30 years because a lot of the prices that have risen are the supposed good inflation. They call it asset price inflation. It's been very good for the top 1%, a little bit not bad for the top 10%, but it's been horrible for everyone else. A lot of wealth inequality. But what we're getting now is the consumer prices going up, the service prices going up, everything that is not asset prices or paper prices are starting to go up as well. And I don't think they're, and the Fed, they seem to think that just by saying that inflation is contained or transitory, or inflation expectations are low, they manipulate the TIPS market, which is a treasury inflation protected securities. You know, they buy that and manipulate the rate lower, just, and they think that they can fool people, but they can fool most people all of the time, but they can't fool everyone all of the time. And I think their time is up. Unfortunately, we're all gonna suffer from this, especially those on very low income or fixed incomes, pensioners. And here in the UK, it's going to be even worse from next April because they're raising taxes by almost 3%. I know they tell us it's 1.25%, but the employer is going to have to pay 1.25% as well. So it's like 2.5%. We're going to pay for that. Notice that they're not taxing the big banks in the city of London. They even got them an exemption from the global minimum tax that was drawn up this summer. So there you go. So that's my piece about inflation. So we'll go back to the questions now. Joker Alpha, what does Silver mean? There will be a lot of problems with life without central banks. Will you have him back to discuss? Maybe I should. I think he can't see. He can't see that central planning is a bad thing, because I look at central planning and central banking as part of the Communist Manifesto, and it is. And I think things would be a lot better. There would be a lot less moral hazard without central banking. And what is moral hazard? Well, that's when the bankers and speculators, they don't have any fear, and they'll take risks that they shouldn't. And I think central banking is a bad proposition. And the problem with central banking is they are never independent. In the end of the day, they've been given their existence. The stamp of approval comes from the state. So the political class and the central bank and the bankers will always work together to rip off the general public. They'll lumber us with a huge national debt. And yeah, there are some people who think that having a national debt is a good thing. I say it isn't. I think not having debt is a good thing. Sapporo 2891. Wall Street Silver reported that Russia and China received their SDRs and already converted to gold, which tells me reset is almost here. Will BIS bank will be abolished? I heard about Russia a couple of weeks ago that they took their allocation and bought gold. I haven't heard about China. BIS, the only way that BIS can be abolished is through an international treaty. I think it was signed in 1930 by England, I think Germany, France, Italy, Holland, all the major Western countries, and the United States. And the major shareholders are the, believe it or not, JP Morgan, Chase Manhattan, First National Bank. They were shareholders in the BIS, and also the major European central banks. It would be nice if this was abolished, this BIS. Don't tread on me. What's your opinion of silver bullion in Singapore? If you're in Singapore, yes, but why hold your silver? I don't know where you are, don't tread on me, but why hold your silver half, in the other side of the world? You want it close to you, unless you've got hundreds of millions of dollars to buy, maybe keep some there. But yeah, I'm not saying Singapore is a bad place to have your silver, but I think it's always best to try to have it as close to you as possible, especially with the way the world is right now. Blast from the past. No, I've never played St. Andrews. I've never actually, I haven't been to Scotland actually. So I would like to play St. Andrews one day, but I've played Pebble Beach. What else? Torrey Pines. Here in the UK, here in England, I've played Royal Cinque Ports. They played the British Open there in 1919. I've played some nice courses in England, but not St. Andrews. Carlo Iaboni says your economy is going pretty badly. UK might implode. I think all the major economies in the world are in the same shape. United States, Canada, Australia, the whole of the EU. Yeah, so I think it's it's a big possibility that they'll do another lockdown this winter, and they'll use that as an excuse, maybe to print even more money to keep things going as much as for as long as they can. Who knows? Cardinal sin, get government off my back. Yeah, I think the key here now in the situation we're in is to hi James, Peter Millward, nice to see you, is to try to boycott any organization that tries to take your freedom away. And by that, with these passports and tests, yeah, boycott them and yeah, just do as little as you can. Go on strike. Keep doing as much as you can with your for your livelihood and everything, but try to get out of the system as much as possible, because if we all do a little bit of that, I think it's going to hurt the powers that be. Rolf Steiner thinks the national debt could be by 100 trillion by 2025. Yeah, I mean, oh, looks like Billy's going to jump off. The US debt clock is forecasting 50 trillion by then, but you could be right. Who knows? And I don't even know if we will get there in 2025, if the United States will survive as it is, the federal United States or the corporate United States. Blast from the past, silver suggests 3 to 5% precious metals. That seems quite a bit short of reality. I agree with you. In the normal world, yes, that might work, but I think we're far from being in the normal world. I think it's a huge risk to only keep 3 to 5% of your portfolio or wealth in precious metals. But he did acknowledge that some people might want to have a lot more. That's his view on it. I think he puts too much trust into the system, and I have to disagree with him on that. Not joking. My mom and dad just went up to St. Andrews, said a lot of places were struggling for staff and turning away very well-to-do people away. The thing is, right now, I try to stay where I am at home as much as possible, or around London, and because you don't know what's going to happen if you go. I know Scotland is part of the UK, but they want to introduce now passports over there, so you never know what they're going to throw at you. So that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, don't jump the gun. When there's a storm out there, like let's say when there's a hurricane coming, you try to avoid being outside. And I think we're going through a hurricane, a really bad storm. It's not, and it's of course man-made, globalist made, but yeah, we just need to batten down the hatches. It's not nice, but I think things will be better, but we just need to be patient. Mary, have you read any books about the Committee of 300? I haven't read any books, but I've listened to a guy who wrote years ago, a guy who wrote a lot about the Committee of 300. It's basically a ultra globalist club, I guess, organized by the Rockefellers. Yeah, so they're the people in charge. James Peter Miller says, if a stranger watched and followed you as much as the government are doing, you would call the police and tell them you think you are being stalked. The other thing that I think is important these days is to forget about left and right, forget about Republican and Democrat or Tories and Labor. None of them are going to help us. I think we need to help ourselves and be self-reliant. And I've always said that, of course. Lily Robin talking about the Shemitah. This is the year of the Shemitah now, isn't it? But there was another Shemitah in 2015. It's every 7 years. And I think when people say the world will end, I think what they mean by that is not everything's going to disappear. It's just that it's going to be a different world that we're not familiar with. Chris Conman, thank you for your super chat. After the dollar implodes and the house of cards fall down, do you think Congress will have the fortitude to disband the Fed? If not, we're doomed. I think there won't be any Congress. I don't think there will be a Fed if the dollar, if this Federal Reserve note fiat dollar goes, the whole Congress will just, they won't have any more power. Yeah, and the Fed hopefully will. The Fed is unconstitutional, really. I think we could go back to a decentralized world. So think of before the 1787 Constitution, maybe to the states will be more sovereign, and that Washington D.C. will probably be just I don't know, just a normal city. Bobby Critter says shields are made of metal, not paper. That's right. That's from Lynette Zhang, and I agree 100%. That's why only physical will do, not GLD or other ETFs. Big Bush, yeah, it's Explorer 2 Rolex. That's right. I bought it in 2003, I think. So I've had it for a long time. Patrick Gelpka, do you see a fast reset on the precious metals? Well, I made a video that I published a video this morning talking about that. And it has been a long reset. And I think it started in 2000 when the Dow topped versus gold at 42. Right now we're around 19. And it's taken over 20 years. So I think it could accelerate. And I think it could be in the next 2 to 3 years, maybe 4 years, mainly because the dollar index topped in 2017, and the cycle in the dollar index is like 7 to 9 years down, 7 to 9 years up. But yeah, I think it could accelerate. The move from 20 to 1 could be very, very quick. We did go down to around 6 in 2011, but I think, as I said this morning, we should go to 1 to 1 at least. Lily Robbins says, don't forget to stock dog food. My dog food supplier told me they're having major issues getting anything in cans, and getting anything with turkey in it will get worse. Yeah, I was reading a few articles this afternoon. I'll share one of them with you guys. Hold on. Where is it? And this is more, let's see, no, share. Yeah, so there you go. UK retailers brace for shortages of stock and run up for Christmas. It's a lot about toys and stuff, but it's about other things as well. And it talks about the containers there are containers out there, but the whole supply chain has been screwed up and people can't get the containers. The fact that a lot of stuff that's shipped sometimes by cargo planes or normal planes, there isn't as much as that because there isn't as many flights going on. And they also talk about the truck drivers or HGV. So yeah, it's definitely a problem. What else have we got here? Yeah, and to talk about inflation. Here we go. I just saw this in this Epoch Times. I don't know if you've heard of this. This is the first time I heard of them, but it says major supermarket chains warns inflation is about to impact more Americans. So there you go. An executive of Kroger, one of the largest supermarket chains in the US, warned grocery prices are about to become even higher this year as inflation sets in. So yeah, it's not going to get any better. The thing is, if the Federal Reserve really wanted to stop it, they would be raising rates, not just tapering. This is not hawkish what they're doing. So music lover, the dropping of the dropping of V passports coincides with the first time the conservatives have dropped below Labor in the opinion polls. Yeah, and I think this is only temporary, music lover, because I noticed that Sajid Javid said that the option to have these passports is still going to be out there. So yeah, I wouldn't trust them. Joker Alpha, US Congress is trying to sneak legislation for the IRS to have banks. Yeah, a report $600 transaction. I saw that. That's pretty outrageous, I would say. It shows that they're desperate, that the economy is not doing as well because they're after taxes, you see. Inflation is a tax. Well, Mr. Boston, I would say inflation is theft, really. It's like a coin clipping in the modern sense. Tricky Dicky, thank you for your super chat. And the UK government increases national insurance dividend tax and scrap the triple lock party of low tax. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. And they gave the city of London an exemption from the minimum global tax. So you can see who they're looking after, Tricky Dicky. Not that I think taxes are any good. Lily Robbins says Doug Casey likes Ecuador. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anywhere really is safe these days or a good place to be. I think the best place is where you're most familiar with. Yeah, Doug Casey, of course, he's traveled everywhere and lived in many places, so he can move around, or maybe he might not be able to move around as easily. Christmas ain't about gifts. You love fiat principles. Battery shortage. I haven't seen about that, maybe, but VJ581 says, hi, Mario, Billy, Janet from Brooklyn, New York. I finally getting to see you live. Thank you for all your great videos. Oh, you're welcome. Nice to see you here. No tax for the Rothschilds. Well, the very wealthy, they don't own anything. You might think it's that's a strange thing to say, but they're only beneficiaries of offshore trusts. So they don't own anything, and a lot of their assets are offshore. They bring in the minimum possible into, let's say, the UK or wherever they do pay a little bit of tax. That's how they get away with it. Art 2021 says paints up 300% when Texas had that 300-year freeze. U.S. supplies of paints froze. Factory had massive water breaks and ruined factory. They're ordering parts to fix the factory, but that's behind as well. Oh yeah, the other thing that's going on, and it's going to affect the UK quite hard, in my opinion, and also the continent, Europe. This is in the winter is fuel prices, energy prices. And why is that? Well, because the UK especially is heavily dependent on natural gas, Europe as well to some extent, and natural gas prices are already going up. We're at like 7-year highs, and it's not going to get better. And carbon emissions, which allow, let's say, companies that need to use power, it gives them like you have to buy these permissions, carbon emissions, in order to maybe use coal. That's going through the roof, these carbon emissions. And I think it's being done by design by the globalists, because they want people not to use coal. But I saw a story that some of the power plants or some factories here in the UK, they've had to resort to coal because natural gas has become too expensive. Someone's saying here, St. Louis 9, many are moving to Georgia, Armenia, and the Balkans, Montenegro in particular. Probably not a bad thing. Carly Aboni, I just registered with Glint. What is the premium when you buy their gold? I'm not sure right now. It could be 1.5% over spot, but I don't know. You have to check with them. It's lower than buying physical, even though they do buy the physical for you. It's allocated and it's put in a vault in Brink's vault in Switzerland. Thomas says community is so important. Get to know your neighbors. I agree. I agree. Oh yeah, blast from the past, the California governor recall. I think that's going to be an interesting event. It's on Tuesday, the 14th of September. And Newsom has been challenged by this guy called Elder. And I think he's pretty good. I would like to see him win, actually. And I think he will win even if he comes second behind Newsom. As long as Newsom gets below 50%, he will win if he comes second. I think that's how it works. Mr. Boston says Poland looks pretty good. The problem right now, I think people need to be careful, because this crisis that started basically in March, April last year, it's all been done by design. And you can look at the IMF. There's a paper from the IMF from last year saying that the COVID preparedness was program was going to run, or is it from the World Bank? Sorry, it's the World Bank, was going to run from April, end of March 2020, or beginning of April 2020 to the end of March 2025. So unfortunately, unless something happens and this whole sham unravels, yeah, I would hold my fire for now. BJ581, yeah, Larry Elder. I saw that the mainstream media, I saw something a few weeks ago, a video or an article saying that they're trying to call him a white supremacist, even though the guy is an African American. I mean, that's how sad sad the mainstream media is. But again, I would say don't look for Elder or anyone else to save the day. You need to look after yourself and not be dependent on these people anymore. Yeah, Dilwyn Roberts, that's the date. 31st March 2015, 2025. Gordon Hamilton, do you ever talk to your golfing partners about the economy? Do they think the same? Sometimes, but usually not. You know, they they don't really think the same. One of the guys I played with today, he's retired. I think he used to be in insurance, and he asked me about gold, and I said, because he asked me 2 3 years ago if it was a good time to buy gold, and I said yes, and he asked me again today, and I said yeah, I think gold is right now being given away, and it's probably a good time to buy because sentiment is so bad, and probably a lot of people are not buying because people usually buy things only when they're going up. So we'll see if he'll pull the trigger. Lily Robbins says Poland isn't great. My friend is Polish and goes back 6 months out of the year. When the government calls you, you have 15 minutes to respond and have to move your phone to show your room. Tina Evans says she purchases dairy and meats from a local farmer. Yeah, we're not too far away from farms here where I am, so that's a good thing if you can be close to the countryside. Pablo Pina says buying gold is always a good thing or a good time. Yeah, it's just converting paper for real money. That's all it is. And you hold it as if you need it. If there's a rainy day and you need it, you can convert it back to the paper if that's the currency that you have. If it's not, you can use it directly. Victor Ramos says Moneko has his laundry day shirt on. Actually, after I played golf, I went to cut the grass, so I just put a normal T-shirt on. But no, the laundry is fine. Corner Monterey, do you like gold bars or coins? The bars, yeah, probably cheaper. In the UK, I prefer the sovereign coins. I do have some bars, but not many. Finding Kino, a great video on the Pilgrim Society. Yeah, they're interesting, the Pilgrim Society. Cardinal Sin says cut the grass is code for smoking weed. Not really. I literally cut the grass or mowed the grass, mowed the lawn. St. Louis 9, will Brazil move away from bad monetary policy and inflation? Well, the thing is, Brazil is raising rates. Not Brazil, but the Central Bank of Brazil has been raising rates for at least they're trying to. And they bought a lot of gold in the last few months. They doubled their gold reserves, so maybe they are, but I wouldn't put too much money into. I wouldn't bet too much in it. Phil Frost, will the system keep working until next year, May next year? It's touch and go, Phil, because the system is already breaking down with all the shortages, all the rising prices, the supply chain in trouble. We've got, and I think trucking is very important, transporting things in the US and all over the world with just-in-time inventory. And the shortage of drivers is a serious thing. It's not going to get any better. Yeah, so I don't know what the world will look like in May next year. But one thing I know, that gold and silver will still be gold and silver in May next year. Clinton didn't inhale, yeah. And he didn't have sex with that woman either, did he? Didn't he, James? Taurus says the debt ceiling will be raised. They have no other option. We'll see. I mean, they've got to, what's her name? Yellen said that they can keep going till sometime in October. Joseph Obervac, yeah, Russia has been raising rates too. I saw that the Russian central bank had the lady who is in charge of the Russian central bank said that inflation could be a problem. It could lead to the next great financial crisis. It's one of the things they're looking at, a possibility. Yes, Graham, that is Monica Lewinsky. Sapporo 2891 thinks the world will look like Mad Max. Is that in May next year, Sapporo? G-Man says Prince A is doomed. Rolf Steiner and Janet Yellen is a gnome. Gold ready to continue cup and handle. Yeah, that cup and handle looks really, really good. It is a 10-year cup and handle, so it takes time to evolve. Taurus says inflation is the next Trojan horse. I don't think so. I think we've already had the inflation for the last 15, 20 years. What we're getting now is rising, rampant, a rise in consumer and service prices the inflation has already been created. As my video, as my live stream title says, the Fed, they won't be able to shut the barn door of the inflation horse because it's out already. Richard Martin says, aloha, Mario and Billy. Yeah, Billy is here. He was on the sofa early, but he jumped off. Connor Monnery, world going back to Renaissance time. I don't know where we're going towards. Maybe it could become a lot more decentralized. And in the Renaissance, in Europe, you had so many political divisions, didn't you? You had city states. You didn't have, I think you had loads of small principalities, and I'm not saying we're going back to that, but we could go decentralized a lot, and we need to have, someone said here earlier that communities are important, and even online communities like we have is that's going to be important as well. David Dalby, how much longer do you think they can suppress the price of gold and silver? The thing is, the same people that have been managing the price of gold and silver, they will go long gold and silver when they have to. I don't know when they're going to stop doing it. I'm patient because the only other option is to convert my gold and silver into fiat currency, and that would mean, supporting the whole banking, banking governmental cabal, the people running the world right now. So if you can withdraw their support, it will go a long way in defeating them, I would say. Bluefish, thank you for your super chat. Any recommendations for silver purchases, generic, sovereign, or junk silver? I think I heard right now, I heard from someone in the States that the junk silver, the premium is like 20%. So maybe try to get sovereign silver. I think like Austrian Philharmonic silver and some generics are probably cheaper. You might want to get some junk silver as well. It's always nice to have a pre-65 constitutional coins, but I think they are a little more expensive. I have different kinds. Yeah, I try to bars as well could be interesting for silver. Some bars are a bit, there's not as much premium. Mr. Boston, Klaus Schwab. Yeah, I wrote an article, was it last year? Yeah. I have a blog called Maneko64.net. And I wrote about the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab. I think it was in June or July last year. If you go onto that website, Maneko64.net, and scroll down, you find it. I could see right away almost last year what was going on. DMC says another interesting week ahead in the markets. Yeah, I think the stock market had a pretty bad week. It was the worst week since February. So I think we're actually down almost like 1.5% in the major US indices. And I think the Russell 2000 was down over 2%. Arno Meert, with the Great Reset, do you think solid businesses with almost no debt will also crash? The thing is, solid business could not, if they lock people down again, solid business might not be solid anymore. But if you've got almost no debt, maybe you will survive, because when things get better, you can start again. Yeah, I've just answered that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Nancy K. I know it's not junk, but that's the word people use for it. I've got a little bit of junk here. Let's see. I've got some pre-1968 Swiss junk, silver francs, and I've got some pre-1920 shillings. The shillings are like the British coins. They're like a quarter, so they're really nice as well. Just a few here on my desk. Dr. Delbert says Bitcoin is crashing. Well, let's see. I thought Bitcoin was up earlier today. Let's have a look. Bitcoin, yeah, I've got it 45,350. Yeah, it's on WorldCoin. WorldCoin. Let's share this a little bit. Let's share the Bitcoin. No, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to do well, and all the a lot of cryptos. There's so yeah, there you go, Bitcoin. Yeah, it has come off from that 51, 52 level. Or last, I don't know when that happened. Earlier last week, but it's up slightly here, as you can see. So there you go. Thomas says, my family is so clueless. I tell them to watch this channel. They laugh at me. Well, let them laugh. You can take the horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. Rolf Steiner, yeah, the EU is bankrupt. And Germany bailed them out. Germany bailed out all the pigs. What are pigs? Well, they're Portugal, Italy, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. And that was in 2012. Yeah, they just delayed the inevitable. You're right. Is that Rolf who said that? Yeah. The whole world is I mean, the UK is also bust. The US is bust. The only reason the governments here and the EU and the US are running is because the central banks are manipulating rates by doing QE and forward guidance. They're keeping rates artificially low. So there you go. Carlos Garcia bought a 1 ounce Britannia. Yeah, they are beautiful coins, the Britannias. Connor Monnery, do you like graded coins and slabs? Or I do have some numismatic graded coins. Here in the UK, they don't put them in slabs. I hate those plastic slabs. I do have some coins in slabs, but I have one. I have a 1834 $50 seating Liberty. I think it's not a seated one, but 1834 $50. It was in a slab, and I took it out of the slab. It has a rating of AU 55. Yeah, I don't like the slabs. I know it's supposed to protect them, but you still want to hold the coin that you buy. That's the way I look at it. Norman Burton, thank you for your super chat. Wayne Jordan, are there any solvent Western nations left? Not really. I mean, if you consider Russia, I guess Russia isn't Western, but it's European. I think Russia is in the best shape. Their national debt is like 30%. And actually, Australia, their national debt is not that high, even though it's probably gone up since this crisis. Arno Mertz, do you think will bonds be an interesting investment at any point in the future? Well, for people who are professionals and in the financial markets and speculators, they can make money in bonds by just buying, long-term bonds. And if yields drop, let's say in the next month, they'll make a lot of profit on the capital gains because the prices will go up. But for the next 5, 10, 20 years, I don't think it's a good place to have your money in bonds. We've had a bond bull market since 1981. So I think it's quite long in the tooth, that bull market. And if interest rates start rising, the principal becomes worth less. So if you buy a 10-year bond right now, I think it's a negative yield. And then the yields start going up. If you pay 100 euros for that bond, 10-year bond, it's going to go down in value. The capital, they will pay 100 euros after 10 years, but you could have had really high inflation, and those 100 euros will be worth like the equivalent of 40 euros in 10 years. So I don't think it's a good place to be, bonds. Edgar Atis, what do you think of uranium? Yeah, I've seen that there is a lot of talk about uranium, that the uranium price is going up. It probably will do well because people are trying to move away from fossil fuels. But I used to have a stock called Cameco, but years ago. I'm just focused really now on precious metals. That's what I do, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Someone might say, why don't you diversify? Well, I got to pick something and stick to it. That's it. And the reason why I stick to precious metals, gold and silver, and the miners is because I think they are kind of like an investment or a vote of no confidence in the whole monetary, political, economic system. So I want to have, gold and silver in that case. Yes, uranium might do well, but it's not something I'm focusing on. Bluefish, thank you for your super chat. I'm buying puts on SLV as central banks continue to push silver towards low 20s. Long term, they can keep down, but short term, they can't. Long term, they can't keep down, but short term, they can. Thoughts? The thing about the puts is that they'll try to screw you on that as well. They'll try to, on the day of expiry, they'll squeeze the price higher so that your puts end up worthless. And yes, and they'll do the same thing on calls. I would avoid options on precious metals. The only one thing I might think about doing is, because if you look at silver, it hasn't really gone down that much. It's just been in a huge band between like 23 and 27 for the last year. So if it goes into the low 20s, I don't think there's much downside left in silver. If anything, I would be looking at a COMEX silver 30 call or something like that for December. And even that, I would stay away from options and precious metals. Um, it's really hard to beat the house, so to speak. All right. It's time to go. It's 10 o'clock here. So I wish you start again. I wish everyone a great rest of the weekend. For those of you who are in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, I wish you all a great Monday. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you all for your questions, your super chats, and your support. Take care.